Welcome back, everybody. Red 13 coming at you, and today we are going to talk about mostly probably Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson, not so much straight, but we'll get into the Atlanta Falcons and what are any concerns we have with this offense. We just got done talking about the Seahawks and how exciting I am for that. I'm also not as much, but still pretty excited for this Atlanta Falcons offense to see what can they do. Right? Brady's out of that division. Heck, it's almost up for anyone. The Falcons got a very, very juicy offensive piece. Probably the biggest thing since Barkley or Ezekiel Elliott. Both those teams have made playoffs after they got those running backs. Can the Falcons follow in that footstep? Now, what does this mean for fantasy football? First, I want to get to Kyle Pitts. He's the biggest concern I have. Kyle Pitts, when he came out from Florida, everybody wanted him in that rookie. I made sure to get multiple picks in a lot of leagues I was at. And I got Kyle Pitts. I drafted him. I saw him go as early as 1.2. 1.2 for a tight end. And people said, hey, don't expect big numbers. Tight end is not a Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. Don't expect that. Did break 1,000 yards. He was, I think, a top 5 overall tight end in most leagues, depending on your format. But he was a pretty good piece in that crappy Falcon offense. What was the one thing they didn't get was touchdowns. I want to say he had, one. And it might have been against that Dolphin game on the road where he had his big breakout game. With Kyle Pitts, from then on, you're like, okay, that's it. Only a few guys have ever done that in NFL history, so we know, hey, that's a great start. It's only going to get better from here. Then year 2 came, and we know Arthur Blanks. What is he thinking? When they asked him in an interview, hey, what's up with Kyle Pitts? Kyle Pitts, in I think he played 9 games before the injuries. 6 of those games, he was single-digit points. He didn't even, I think his most receptions was 5. He did it twice, 5 receptions, only 2 times. He took a gigantic step back. Now, quarterback situation was not ideal. But don't tell me Mariota is not a quarterback that uses tight end. It doesn't mean he made Delaney Walker like this Travis Kelce, but that was someone he went to at times. He liked Delaney Walker. Walker had a pretty good solid run for a few years, was a top tight end, and that might have been more geared towards the offense, but Mariota used him. So when you look at it, you're like, okay, this might be a good match. You got Mariota, might be relying on the best weapon in that team besides Drake London, who just got drafted, but you're looking at that going, okay, and it never happened. It never happened, and it was like, what are you doing? And when they asked Blanks, it's like, look, our team is not built for fantasy football. We're doing a real football thing. And I agree with that. That's what they're supposed to do. No fantasy football fan, even if you're in paid leagues, free leagues, if you want to win, yes, you say, hey, use the guy. But our perspective as fantasy is use the guy. If he's as dominant as we all expect, then he should be like Kelce, helping you win and scoring. But they felt like they're using him as a decoy at times. Now, the good news is he was not like a DeAndre Swift where half the games he wasn't even in 50% of the snaps. He was always in over 50 or more percent of the snaps. So Pitts is a weapon who was out there and used, but you just felt like the targets weren't there. Now, was it Desmond when he stepped up as a quarterback? I'm excited for Desmond Ridder as well to come in there and be the quarterback. It's hard to, we only got a small sample size, and Pitts wasn't even there for that. So we don't even know how their chemistry is going to be. But you got London. Now you got Pitts. You got the young quarterback. And usually young quarterbacks, when they come in as maybe like if you came in like, let's say, a CJ Stroud, someone like that, where you come up, a lot of times young quarterbacks don't look to do a bunch of dump offs. That's usually an older quarterback because they mentally know, hey, if the play's not there, check it down. At least get 3 yards. At least get 6 yards. At least let my running back, hello, Eli Manning, Saquon Barkley. How well did that relationship work? That was insane. Barkley's first year, he was an offensive freak, and there was times he would take a screen pass 50 yards to the house. So older veteran quarterbacks know how to do that. Will Desmond do that with the Falcons? Is he going to use Bijan Robinson? Now Bijan, I'll get to him in a second, but back to Pitts. Now that you got this great running game that defenses have to focus on, you have a receiver who's coming into year 2 and had a couple good games and does have a great physical attributes to sit there and be a top possession receiver, and then you bring in Pitts. Pitts has to have more than 2 touchdowns. He cannot be this piece, this great offensive weapon, and not used in the red zone. I don't know what the Falcons are going to do. To me, I have cooled off so much on Pitts. that this is how it is with him. If I have Pitts on a team, I'm not trying to trade him. I know there's people who are diehard who will trade for him. They do like Kyle Pitts, and they still have that excitement. But some people got him way up here, and I'm not talking dynasty rankings. There's guys all over Twitter, social media, who I agree. Dynasty rankings, you should have Pitts, number one. You should have Pitts. Anyone who puts someone like Kelsey or even Mark Andrews ahead of him, you're not seeing the big picture for dynasty. You don't want that. So yes, I agree Pitts should be there. That said, if I'm not trying to trade for him, I'm not going to overpay for this guy until I see it. I don't know what the Falcons are going to do. Are they going to sit there and go, hey, let's give it to Bijan all the time now? Or Bijan and Algier and get it to, who's fourth in the pecking order? You would think it wouldn't be Pitts, but what the heck happened last year? So with Pitts, if you have him like I do in some leagues, I did trade him a lot after that first season. But if you have him, I think you just hold pat. I think you just hold him and expect greatness. Don't trade him unless someone like gives you the moon. But if you don't have him and you want to trade for him, I don't know. Because I don't think with some people who are like maybe me who go, yeah, they see it, but they want to see a little more. I don't think they're going to overpay for him. So it's kind of a situation where like, I have to just sit and wait. But it's a good piece. This isn't a Rashad Bateman who has a few flashes and is injured all the time. After a couple seasons, we haven't really got a taste of Bateman, just the hype and the expectations. Pitts showed that, hey, I can be a top 5 tight end and I can put up 1,000 yards. And now that I have even more weapons, I expect to be used more, especially in the red zone. But Blanks, I don't know, he might have just been blown off steam. He's the owner, so he's not the coach. He doesn't call the plays, but he does seem like he wants to be involved with some of this, which I guess I would too if I was the owner. So that's my thoughts on Pitts. I expect big things, but I'm a little nervous and hesitant, maybe even this year. He's still the top tight end, but I'm still a little nervous to see, is this the breakout year? Now we'll get to Bijan Robinson. Drake London for a second, good receiver. I'm all for him. If you can get a move where you get him and trade for him, I'm not looking to go trade for him, but if he's in a piece for a big 2 or 3 player deal, yeah, I'm not going to shy away from London. I think with London, Bijan, Pitts, Ritter, I think that Algier, I think they have a very decent offense. Not decent, better than decent. It all comes down to the quarterback. What do we expect from Ritter? I'm not going to talk about him today, but what do we expect from him coming into his second season? With these weapons, it's hard to fail. So London, yes, I like him. I would put him in the top 24 receivers. Where? I'm not going to even pretend to know. Looking at because this Falcon offense, until I get a few games in and seeing how they work, it's hard to say. Now, Bijan Robinson. This is probably the safest thing since Zeke and Barkley. You can't go wrong. He was number 1.01. I think I saw only 2 times in over 20-something rookie drafts, and I still have a few to go. 2 times was he not taken 1.01. And that was with that quarterback needy heavy team. And you think, couldn't you have traded back, done something? Because you always want to get value. Draft Bijan and then trade him for like maybe, a quarterback, who's ready now. I mean, heck, Desmond Ritter and another running back, DeAndre Swift and Drake, some kind of triple pack where you get, hey, this guy's getting it. Anyways, that's what I would have done. But basically, Bijan Robinson has gone 1.1 overall in every league, as he should. He is the physical freak. He can catch, he can run. If you've seen that one where he tries to do a hurdle and gets knocked down and the guy looks like he should have snapped his neck, dislocated his spinal cord, something, and he didn't. The guy is a freak. He is the Terminator from Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was just unstoppable. So what do we expect with him? I think he's going to have a gigantic year. I think he's going to go out there and rush. I think he's going to have a gigantic year, and I think he's going to rush for 13 touchdowns. I think he's getting 13 touchdowns. But what do we do if he gets reeled back some? What if Arthur Blanks kind of messes the whole thing up and wants to put Algier in here? And he starts going, hey, you know what? This is a 1,000-yard running back. We don't want our prize top pick, to get damaged. We don't need him being like an overused workhorse. Why don't we give Bijan 15 carries and Algier 10? And I don't think people expect that. But Algier showed he could be a serviceable running back. So that would be the only cog or clog in this drain would be if something like that happens. But no one's going to go into the season expecting that. A lot of people are like, pour one out to Algier, he's done. And I wouldn't say he's done. I would not say he's done. In this NFL age, two running backs can exist. Jamal, DeAndre Swift, how it was last year. You can see all sorts of teams where they use multiple backs, and it has worked. It has worked. For fantasy, it's pretty good. I think that's what Seattle's going to be, and I've talked about that on our last video. But with Bijan Robinson, yes. If this is a startup draft, he always goes in the first round. Superflex, he still goes in the first round. Wisely and absolutely should go in the first round. So I think at the season's end, I'm thinking Bijan is going to be within RB6 or better. He's going to be RB1. He's going to RB6 or better. He's going to put up, I want to say, depending on Algier, just making a guess, I want to say he's going to put up probably 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns, the big 1-3, and of course I'm doing it just because we're at 13. But there's no way you're getting him. There's no way. At this point, if you try to trade, it's like trading for Justin Jefferson. It was like trading for Lamar Jackson after his MVP year. To get someone like that, you had to have already acquired the draft pick. If you try to get him now, which I have seen on Twitter, you're giving up a lot unless you're in a league with a guy who's just a complete dolt and didn't know what's going on. But you're going to have to overpay, which might even hurt your team. The only way you're going to do that is say, hey, I want him so bad, but at this point, it's just too much. But that's my take on the Falcons offense. I expect big things. It's not as in cement as I think Seattle. I think Seattle's going to be for real. As we talk about birds, maybe we'll do the Eagles next. But with this, with the Falcons, there's a high level of excitement, but there is a hesitant of Pitts nervousness. London, I think will be safe. I think London's the safest one. If I had to, actually no, Bijan, scratch that. What am I thinking? Bijan's the 100% safest. He is going to be an RB1. We got that. Can London become a wide receiver 1? Pitts, a tight end, top 5. Again, he's got to be with this offense. He's got to be with the run game and London and then Ritter finally hopefully stepping up. So let me know, share in the comments what your thoughts are on the Falcons. Do you have even higher expectations? Do you think they're going to be garbage and it's just going to be Bijan go for 2,000 yards and everyone else is nothing? Share, let me know what you think, and like, subscribe, and look for more videos. We will be right back with more as we break down I'm looking for just cool situations, teams where you might know, hey, what's going on, juggling the situation, kind of like Seattle, kind of like the Falcons, teams where I'm excited to see. Heck, we might even hit up Detroit next because they got so many weapons. We might go to the Lions, and I'm excited and talking about Jamar Gibbs and everything going on there in Detroit. So thanks for watching. See you guys later. Peace.